Gun Salute. That's Garcia featuring Noriega, AG Lions. It's a track off of Garcia's album, Off the Beaten Path. Dope album. Go check that out. Correct spelling in the description box so you could do your Googles, your YouTubes, your iTunes, your Spotifys. Pick your poison. A lot of this stuff is up on those streaming platforms. That particular joint has a dope video that y'all could check out too. Shout out to Nori for always showing love to down south. And we gonna get into some stuff right now. But before we get into Nori and your relationship with him, let's talk about Garcia, bro. Dope MC, a.k.a. Gambit, a.k.a. Severe. I didn't know he was severe until I started listening to other podcasts that shine light on that. But talk to the people about that. Like, how'd you came about with Garcia and that relationship?
We used to do Crazy Hood. We used to do meetings. Like, one of the things early on in Crazy Hood again was to be since we didn't have all the resources and money and any of that stuff, I tried to like organize us and make sure we were an organized, well-oiled machine as young dudes. And that's what set us apart early on. So part of that was always meeting weekly. And we started meeting at Kinko's because I would press up my mixtape covers and posters and different things at Kinko's. So imagine like 10, 15 dudes, meeting at Kinko's.
Hip-hop heads.
Yeah.
90s.
So the manager there was like, he came one day, he's like, yo, you're scaring the customers. Because we're meeting at night always, like Wednesday or Thursday night. He's like, you're scaring the shit out of our customers. I'm like, oh, fuck, we're not doing it. We're fucking even paying customers. I'm doing shit. But we were loitering like a motherfucker. But the dude was like, he could see, we were young dudes trying to do some, something positive. So he was like, how about this? I let you guys use the conference room on the house.
Nice.
And I was like, me with wanting to be more and more professional, I'm like, fuck yeah, like, we're going to be in a conference room, And the conference is not cheap at Kinko's.
Okay.
So it's expensive as a motherfucker, especially for some young kids. We're like fucking 19 at the time.
But I guess
18,
the
19.
manager was figuring, these guys are coming at night anyways. The conference room is empty.
For sure. And rather than not scared.
Smart manager.
I didn't think of it like that, but right. It's like, let them use it and then let's keep the customers
But
coming.
he was like this.
So the dude's name is James.
Guys get too crazy.
Yeah.
What's the name of your company again?
He knew well. We had already been going there for months. So I forget how I think Garcia worked at Kinko's at one point. He had a connection with Garcia. And Garcia had already heard about Crazy Hood and the whole, him being from Kendall. So he was trying to link with us and the dude connected him with us. I'm sure there's more of a story to that, but the short story is that he linked us with Garcia, and Garcia came to me with his Severe cassette. And at first I originally, and he knows this, I was not impressed. I was like, this is all right, But what I was impressed by was the professionalism of the presentation of the cassette. It was a professional tape, and everything. And that to me meant a lot. I was like, and the artist itself, me already coming from developing my other artists, and like I'm a part of like that's my mentality is developing art. I could develop and mold this guy. I can help his development. So that's easy. He's already got a great foundation. He just needs to be polished a little bit. And he's already on the professional-minded tip. All right, man. So, and we needed some, like, young blood in the crew at the time. He's a couple of years younger than us. When you're kids, a couple of years is very young.
Yeah.
So he comes in, and I remember he had, like, some baggage from, like, high school beefs and all this different shit. And I was like, bro, like, people were telling us, like, fuck that dude. Like, he had just beef in the streets with, like, because he's fucking people's girls, like all this different dumb shit. And I was like, bro,
Miami life.
Let's just start on a new, clean slate, bro. Let's change your name and let's go from there. And it was Gambit. We picked Gambit. And then later on down the line, my lawyer at the time. So I told him, you know what, bro, be proud of your identity. Go with your last name, Garcia. This is pre anything Latin hip-hop.
Right.
But just go with your name, Garcia. That's what I did. EFN is my name. It's the initials of my name. So that's where, it came to me. And that's when we picked Garcia. But he was a hungry MC and one of the things that he learned from us and that I was trying to instill in him is that as I was working on the alliance and he was going to benefit off of everything that we were doing with the group that we were already working on, I was always telling him, don't wait. Start doing shit and become very self-sufficient so that, when it's your turn, you're ready to go versus kind of have to start cranking that up and get things going. Right, so start building your own buzz, start making sure you do your own freestyles, get on mixtapes, go to the DJs, if we can't go because we're doing something with the Alliance. Make sure you go. Like, I'll point you in the direction. It's just, I'll tell you what to do. Just go out and do it. Don't wait. And he was one of those guys that he went and did it. He was really hungry, and it showed, man. And he fucking, his output was amazing. He definitely grew a lot as an artist. And yeah, just a great artist, man, all around. And eventually turned into a visual artist, which was awesome as well.
Recently just won
VMA.
VMA.
Yeah, man.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly video.
Yep.
People go peep that. The Valentine's. Name isn't coming to me right now, but Machine Gun Kelly.
Don't matter, man. My boy won a VMA. It don't matter what fucking video it is.
He win it.
Yeah, he got a VMA. He brought to Kendall, y'all.
You mentioned you going into finally using EFN as a name. You know what? It was somebody that finally did that too. Is my homie NFA.
Oh yeah.
My homie NFA, which was AKA Verse 1, which you guys used to call him Cuba.
Yeah.
Met him at a casino, I think, or something, right?
No,
something like that.
Crazy Hood Casino. He used to. I don't know, maybe. No, you're right.
You met him
No,
at a
with his
casino.
dad. With his dad.
With his dad.
Yeah,
With Lenny. Shout out.
yeah.
And then,
His dad was like pushing him on.
That's my little brother, bro.
Yeah.
And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I learned a lot from him. He learned a lot from me. And then I remember when he told
Good
me,
kid,
like,
man.
yo, I was at this casino. Met these dudes from Crazy Hood. I'm like, oh, that's dope, dog. He's like, yeah, you're a fan, blah, blah, blah. And he started going to the warehouse, to the infamous warehouse joint, which is like, I guess, the birthplace of Drink Champs.
It is right? That definitely is the birthplace of Drink Champs.
That was the original Crazy Hood Studios.
Yeah, the original outside of Crazy Goods, kind of starting that movement and then moving away to having like a warehouse with a studio and
Well, back then he was, you guys called him Cuba, but his rap name was Verse 1, and then he changed his name to NFA because his name is Nicholas Felix Arguero. But it's because of NFA. The only 2 times I went to that studio was because of NFA, because he was just like, yo, I'm going to roll out there. I think it was more because, yo, I need a ride.
Right.
But we rode out there, and it was definitely fun times out there.
Yeah,
you
always fun times there.
You guys had, like... shit going on, you know what I mean? I could testify to that, and that was I was there pre Drink Champs. At least those 2 times that I went.
But it was definitely the birth of Drink Champs there for sure.
So let's go into this. Nori, how did that flourish? How did that happen?
That goes back to Crazy Good days. He was on the promo tour for CNN. Capone was locked up. My boy, fuck man, how am I gonna forget my boy's name, bro? Phil the Mayor, who's Live on Sundays, headliner group. These guys are the biggest things in fucking club world. That's my homie from back in the days. Back in those days, artists had to go and do rounds, do in-stores, do things. It was pre-internet promotion to kind of promote that you were going to be somewhere. He brought Nori to Crazy Goods. That's what I'm very proud of Crazy Goods. A lot of artists came to Crazy Goods, so people had access to them out here. And I had a 4-track, digital 4-track in the back. That's why I said that was like our original studio in a sense. And I would have people drop freestyles, where Scam dropped his freestyle. And so Nori came, we linked, he dropped freestyles. He was already buzzing into us, in terms of the underground scene where we knew that he was something special. And so we were excited. So when he dropped these freestyles for me, I was fucking hype. And then we hit it off, man. I don't know if it's his like Puerto Rican side or what, but his crew, our crew, like we just became kin. Like it was just like, we had each other's backs, and he went to New York, and we stayed in contact. He was on almost every mixtape after that. I did his first show. When I say I mean Crazy Hood. We did his first show in Miami as NORE. The NORE album. We did that, the first show ever, his solo show.
And because I remember he had Capone and Noriega came down, performed at Salvations.
But they didn't. It was just
Mobb Deep.
It was just Nori.
Supposed to.
Yeah, it was just Nori.
It was just Nori then.
Yeah, that's when he came by Crazy Goods, and that's when Phil brought him by.
Okay, but is that the show you're referencing? Like
no, I'm talking about NORE album.
Okay.
That,
because the NORE album was on.
Yeah, when that NORE album's about to drop, or if I don't know if it had just dropped, maybe it dropped like 2 weeks before that.
You remember what club?
Yeah, too I remember. Fuck, now you made me forget. Coño. Fuck, bro, it was Warsaw. Okay. And the reason why I remember, and I, you gotta tiptoe around these topics, is that Warsaw was a known gay club at the time. But the thing,
they would do hip hop nights.
We were the first. We were the first one. That's the thing in that era. Miami Beach, South Beach wasn't really fucking with hip hop, and so you had like dance clubs, gay clubs. That was the thing in South Beach at the time. So us as hip hop heads to try to get in, we had to go to like the gay club, like yo, come on, like the day you're not doing the gay stuff, let us do a hip hop.
There'll be hip hop nights. There'll be a hip hop night going on at Warsaw, and I'll be fighting tooth and nail with my friends. Like, bro, it's not that tonight. Yeah, I know it's not that tonight because you know Miami. Right. Is like, no. Are there bitches there?
Bro, I'm telling you, imagine us, these dudes coming in to do business to try to negotiate that night. I had to go when they're the biggest gay night, you know, like I'm walking in and it's like fucking big ass transvestites on stilts and shit, you know, like, and you know this. I mean, look,
you had to get what you could get.
No, listen, it don't matter. At the end of the day, these people were the ones giving opportunity to us, you know. To do parties. I'm just saying, bro. Like
to do a show how you wanted to do it.
Bro, it was a venue. It just happened to be that was a venue owned by, or I don't know if it was owned by gay dudes, but that's what they did. They did gay parties. I mean, it is what it is. The straight club didn't want to let us do a fucking hip hop party. So and anybody that's doing parties, they had to do this. So we had to go there, and it was at Warsaw, and we did the first. We did the first. I mean, that's if you want to look at it that way.
Nah, it's not like that.
You might have to pause on that one.
It's more like get it where you can get the money.
Not for me, y'all now.
So yeah, man. Shout out to the dudes at Warsaw that gave us the opportunity, and we did the NORE party there. It was the first Nori solo, and then when Capone got out, we did the Capone home. They actually kind of like reached out to me because there was a convention. I forget what. It wasn't Haugen. It was some other music convention, and they asked me to put that together, which we did at Warsaw again. And it was Capone home, and that was a big deal because that like when Capone got out of prison, MTV was there and everything. So we were just cool. And when after Nori did reggaeton, and that did what it did, he decided to move to Miami, and he decided to move to Kendall, and I had him working out of my studio, and that's where it all started.
Was he already living in Kendall at the time that Capone and Noriega released the Reunion album? Because there's a skit on the Reunion album.
The Wet Willie skit?
Wet Willie's is real.
And then they mentioned girls from Kendall, and I'm like...
Wet Willie's is
all of that has to do
with... It's really tied in with Crazy Hood.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's all tied into us. And remember, I always had artists talk Kendall, talk Miami. So he knew all the lingo. He knew everything about Kendall. I don't even think he had been to Kendall yet. Maybe he had been to Kendall at one point. But yeah, I was there in that session when it was... Tyrese was, I think, in that skit too, wasn't it? Yeah, I think Well, he was in the studio when that happened because he was drunk off Wet Willie's.
I don't remember him being on the skit, but I would have to go back to.
I'm telling you, Tyrese. That's why I remember because it's such an odd name to be in a CNN skit.
Tyrese is a part of a lot of
things.
A lot of studio ongoing.
I think Tyrese was there. If not, it was somebody else, and maybe I'm crazy, but nah, they weren't. He wasn't.
No, you are crazy.
Yeah, you're right. It's rhetorical, so for sure. But yeah, no, he wasn't in Kendall yet. It was after he did the reggaeton project. He moved down here. He moved to Kendall. He moved actually over here in by the hammocks area, and then he was in my studio every day, all day, 24/7. And then those sessions turned into drinking, casino, wildness, which turned into us saying "drink champs" as a side thing that Crazy Hood used to say. But on the flip, we were doing we did a show on XM, then Sirius XM, out of that studio. That was the precursor to Drink Champs, but I loved the term Drink Champs from back then that I had held it, not knowing what it would be. Years later, I convinced him to do a podcast like the show we did, the XM Series show, and then I told him, look, man, I think we should call it Drink Champs. I have it all locked in already. I have all the fucking social media. I have the copywritten, trademark. Dope. Got Scam to do a logo. And then he's the type of dude when he's ready, he's just like, all right, fuck it, let's do it.
So Scam did the logo too for Drink Champs?
Yeah.
Nice.
Scam did the logo.
That's dope. All right, so since we're on the subject, Drink Champs, when are you going to have the alcoholics?
Bro.
I think I brought this up to you. I forgot what show. I think I brought this up.
Well, J-Ro lives in Europe.
I'm annoying. I know.
No, J-Ro lives in Europe. I think he has like a hip-hop school in Sweden or something.
Yeah, and I think Tash is not drinking. Per his social media on Instagram.
Which,
I'll tell you, I think he's going with drinking, but he's still smoking.
I've never said this anywhere, and I'll tell you this. First of all, we're not against. Obviously, I've told King T straight up. there's no drink champs without alcoholics in terms of the theme of drinking and hip hop, you know. And trust me, I don't want our legacy to create more alcoholics in the world.
Right. But you've had guests like Royce the 5'9".
Love it when they're sober.
Drink
I
and
love
he's
that.
Sober the whole time.
I love that. No, I
want
want that because I don't want that to be our legacy. But Nori, and I've never said this, Nori's told me he was always a little worried about having the alcoholics. He's like, yo, they get really, really drunk. Really, really drunk. You know, and straight up, Nori's told me, he's like, they get really drunk.
For him to say.
Yeah. You know, like, and I'm like, all right, well, we get really, really drunk too. So but I guess it would make no podcast because we'd just be like, so, but nah, we're definitely open to it, man. It's just that them as a group aren't like, you know, they're all separate and whatnot. Like, but I would love to have them with King T. That would be ideal because that's the original, you know, alcoholic. You know, in a sense.
Word. Can I say this one? Because like, I look towards you to being like, even like one thing about watching the Drink Champ shows is like Nori surprised me with how in depth he goes with these artists on songs and albums. Sometimes he takes it there, and I'm like, wow, man,
Right.
Nori is really like a hip hop head. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's rappers that they kind of like lose that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They lose that fan.
That
shit,
love, that fandom,
that love,
right?
That fandom. And I feel he takes it there still. And I feel like sometimes you're that anchor that touches on. Like one episode, Run the Jewels, and you were able to like incorporate the company flow stuff that LP was known for and all that stuff. Are there any, like, are you guys, because you guys are like hitting some big time people, are there any like underground artists from back in the days that you would like, yo, I want to get like this, for instance, Mike Geronimo?
We just did Mike Geronimo.
Shut up. You just did Mike Geronimo?
Yeah, we just
You
did
didn't
Mike
release it though, right?
Nah, it's going to come out. So it's Mike Geronimo and Royal Flush together. Yeah, and it's
That's
dope.
it, my answers
In
are
fact,
being, this is
in
great.
fact,
All my answers are being answered.
just to so you know,
Questions too.
just so you know I'm not
all my
bullshitting.
answers are my questions.
Just so you don't think I'm bullshitting.
Yo. Okay. All right. Yo.
Yeah.
Let's go into this next track, dog, because I've never had a guest that answers everything on point. Let's go.
It's Nate upon the track and LaGuardia.